It's no doubt Warlocks ran the game when it came to best ad clear and restoration with Sunbracers, and it's also pretty clear if you want the fast solo boss shredder or the highest DPS using a Titan, you can just run Strand. Now, maybe I'm wrong and maybe I'm delusional, and that's fine, but what if I told you Strand Titan could be used to give you that super fast, intense ad clearing and arguably be better than the Warlocks? In this video, I'll show you how to achieve this power fantasy in the easiest way. If you're new here, welcome to the family, and if you've been here, welcome home. There isn't a lot that Titans can't do at this point, and with the buff that Severance and Closure received, we're now in a position where we have extremely strong ad clearing presence. To do this, we're going to be running the Severance and Closure. This allows powered melee final blows to unleash a damaging explosion. Finishers and final blows against more powerful targets are going to increase the radius and the damage of the explosion. This is going to be an ability based build, so this is going to rely heavily on our grapple nade being up constantly and having our melee readily available. We'll be using our grapple to hurl ourselves into a group of enemies and get the melee kill. This is going to proc Banner of War. You're going to find yourselves creating a ton of orbs running this build properly, and with those orbs it's going to build right back into our grapple, so we're going to have it up constantly. Make sure to grab those, as those orbs are going to help build our abilities up quick. For our aspects, we are running Banner of War. Defeating a target with a melee attack or finisher or a sword raises a banner that periodically heals yourself and nearby teammates and increases melee and sword damage. We'll also be running Into the Fray. Destroying a Tangle or casting your super grants Woven Mail for nearby allies and yourself. The fragments we'll also run will be Thread of Evolution. Threadlings travel farther and deal additional damage. Thread of Fury, damaging targets with a Tangle grants melee energy. Thread of Warding, picking up an Orb of Power grants Woven Mail. And Thread of Generation, dealing damage generates grenade energy. Our mod setup is going to be pretty easy since this is an ability based build. For our helmet, we're running Hands On and Solar and Strand Dual Siphon. Our arms are going to have 2 copies of Heavy Handed, and if you can, you'll also socket Firepower. Due to how I have my stats distributed, I can only run 2 copies of Heavy Handed. Our chest is going to be our resistance mods, and you can change them up depending on your activity. Our boots will have Absolution, Innervation, and Orbs of Restoration. Our class item is going to have Powerful Attraction, Reaper, and 1-2 Finisher. 1-2 Finisher will allow your finishers to refresh your melee abilities as long as you have the Orbs of Power gained. As far as weapons go, anything you choose to run is going to work. Again, this is a pretty self-sustainable ability build, so feel free to mix your arsenals up and have fun doing it. What I found that worked was the Quicksilver Auto with Forbearance and Doomed Petitioner, but I also ran Retrofit Escapade depending on the activity. Another fun exotic to run is the Navigator if you have the Catalyst. If not, it's fine, but being able to set your grapple points up and spam your melee was a little bit enjoyable for me as I was finishing up my Navigator Catalyst. But feel free to run whatever you want. I've seen the Scatter Signal worked well for me as well with my Callus mini tool crafted, as well as Dragon's Breath, but feel free to run whatever you guys feel. This is an ability based build, so really the weapons are up to you guys and what you feel is going to help you get through your activities better. Maybe run your weapons to counter champions or the burns, but feel free to mix it up, guys. The cool thing with this build is the gameplay loop. It's so simple, you'll think there's more to it and that you might be doing it wrong, but we're going to start off by first using our grapple and then meleeing into a group of enemies. This is going to give us the Banner of War and Woven Mail. Side note, if you're using Navigator, you can spam fire at a teammate, you can burst fire, whatever you want, and that's going to give you and them Woven Mail. But back to the loop. Grab the Orbs of Power you create. This is going to give back about 50% energy on your melee, your grapple. The cool thing is that the Severance and Closure works not only off the grapple melee, but your regular powered melee on the Strand Titan. When you run out of melee charges, that's what the 1-2 Finisher perk we're going to run fixes. Any enemies that you finish, as long as you have your charges, you're going to get some of your melee charges back, and that's it. It's that easy. We're just gonna rinse and repeat, and everything in the room is just gonna simply die. This is gonna become my go-to build for almost anything on my Titan. This build gives me a ton of everything that I want, and I couldn't be happier with it. If I want to help out some friends with some of their missions or go through some of the activities on my own, this build gives me a ton of ad clearing pressure. It does do decent damage, and it gives me the versatility to change up my arsenal when I want to. It's not the champion boss shredder, like the Syntheseps or the Worm God Caress, but this is a different take on Strand Titan that focuses mainly on crowd control and giving you the options to run whatever guns you really want to. So I could see myself using this to control ads, but then equipping weapons to stun champions or maybe burn bosses, depending on what my fire team needs. That's it for the build, guys. Really simple and fun build to use out there. You have the ability to run whatever guns you want with this build, so you don't have to worry about dying 24/7, as the Banner of War is going to keep you alive, and Woven Mail is going to grant you damage reduction. If you guys enjoyed the video, leaving a like and subscribing would mean the world to me, and it lets me know that you guys enjoy the content and want more in the future. Leave a comment below how the build is working for you and what you might change to make it better. We do use these builds live over on Twitch, so if you have any questions or want to see how it works in different activities, maybe challenging activities, we do definitely do that over on Twitch. We're also going to start doing 60-second builds over on TikTok, so if you haven't already, give me a follow on TikTok where you'll see most of my builds in a shorter version, faster version of it explained, so you guys can get back out there slaying out. Thank you guys for everything. Thank you guys for being here, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.